Listen to me now, because what I am about to tell you will pierce through the comfortable lies you have been telling yourself for far too long. I am Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and I have walked through the valleys of despair and climbed the mountains of divine understanding. I have seen women waste their precious years clinging to patterns that destroy them from within. And today, I will speak the truth that no one else dares to speak to you. There are 10 deadly weights you carry into your later years, 10 anchors dragging you down into an ocean of loneliness and regret. And if you do not cut them loose right now, this very moment, you will watch the life you deserve slip through your fingers like sand. You will see other women, younger women, older women, wiser women, claim the love and respect that should have been yours. You will become invisible. You will become forgotten. And when you lie awake at night, the silence will be deafening because no one will be there to hear your tears. I see you. I see the woman who wakes up every morning and looks in the mirror with a mixture of hope and dread. You wonder if today will be different. You wonder if the man who once loved you will see you again the way he used to, or if someone new will finally notice the beautiful soul you carry within you. You put on your makeup with trembling hands. Choose your clothes carefully. Rehearse conversations in your head while you make your coffee. You scroll through your phone and see other women your age who seem radiant, confident, loved. You see their smiling faces next to partners who adore them. And you ask yourself what they have that you do not. The question eats at you. It whispers in your ear during quiet moments. It screams at you when you are alone on Friday nights while the world seems to be celebrating without you. But here is what terrifies me, what keeps me awake with concern for your soul and your future. Every day that passes while you carry these 10 destructive patterns, you are not just standing still. You are moving backward. You are building walls higher and higher between yourself and the love you crave. Your ex-husband, that man you still think about, that man you still check on social media, that man whose voice still echoes in your memory, he is moving forward. He is healing. He is meeting new people. And one day soon, if you do not transform yourself, he will meet a woman who does not carry the burdens you are carrying. She will be lighter, freer, more magnetic, because she has eliminated from her life the very things I am about to reveal to you. And when he falls in love with her, when he builds a new life with her, when he finally finds peace and passion with someone who is not you, you will realize with horror that you had your chance. You had time. You had opportunity. But you chose to hold on to the 10 things that poisoned your attractiveness, your worthiness, your very essence as a woman deserving of deep love. And it gets worse, much worse. Because this is not just about one man. This is about your entire existence from this point forward. If you enter the sacred years of your life, these years from 45 to 60 and beyond, carrying these 10 toxic patterns, you will not just lose one opportunity for love. You will lose them all. You will become the woman that men sense and instinctively avoid. Not because of your age, not because of your appearance, but because of the invisible energy of desperation and bitterness and fear that emanates from someone who has not done the inner work. You will become the woman that other women pity. You will become the woman whose family members worry about but do not know how to help. You will attend weddings alone. You will celebrate holidays watching other people's joy. You will counsel your friends through their relationship problems while secretly dying inside because you have no relationship of your own. And worst of all, you will start to convince yourself that this is just how life is for women like you, women of a certain age, women who have been through what you have been through. You will accept loneliness as your destiny. You will make peace with invisibility, and your soul, that magnificent eternal soul that the Creator filled with light and purpose, will dim and dim and dim until you barely recognize yourself anymore. I have studied the Zohar for decades. I have meditated on the mysteries of creation and the divine architecture of attraction between masculine and feminine energies. I have counseled thousands, and I have seen the pattern repeat itself over and over. The women who thrive in their later years, who become more magnetic and desirable and powerful with each passing year, they have learned to eliminate these 10 destructive elements from their being. They have done the painful work of looking at themselves with brutal honesty. They have made the difficult choice to let go of familiar patterns that no longer serve them. And they have been rewarded, not by luck or by chance, but by the fundamental laws of the universe that I have dedicated my life to understanding. When you align yourself with divine truth, when you remove the obstacles between yourself and your highest self, the universe conspires to bring you everything you have been seeking. So listen carefully. Take notes if you must. Pause and reflect if you need to. But commit yourself to this journey. Because by the time I am finished speaking, you will have a complete map to transformation. A precise blueprint for becoming the woman who does not chase love, but attracts it effortlessly. Who does not beg for respect but commands it naturally. Who does not hope to be seen but cannot be ignored. The first thing you must eliminate, the first poison you must purge from your system, is the identity of victimhood. I know this strikes a nerve. I know you have been hurt. I know life has been unfair to you in ways that no one fully understands. Perhaps your marriage ended in betrayal. Perhaps you sacrificed your dreams for a man who took you for granted. Perhaps you were beautiful and giving and loyal, and still you were abandoned. I do not minimize your pain. I do not dismiss your suffering. But here is the truth that will set you free if you have the courage to accept it. Continuing to define yourself by your wounds is slow suicide. When you walk into a room carrying your victim's story like a banner, when you introduce yourself to new people with tales of how you were wronged, when you interpret every setback through the lens of past injustice, you create an energy field around yourself that repels everything you desire. Men do not want to date your trauma. They do not want to become your therapist. They do not want to spend their precious time convincing you that they are different from the last one who hurt you. Yes, you have been wounded. Yes, you deserved better. But from this moment forward, you must choose to define yourself not by what was done to you, but by how magnificently you rose from the ashes. In Kabbalah, we understand that every soul chooses its challenges before incarnation. Your difficulties were not random punishments. They were carefully selected opportunities for your soul to demonstrate its strength and evolve to higher consciousness. When you shift from victim to victor, from wounded to warrior, from powerless to powerful, you access a completely different dimension of attraction. You become a woman who has been through fire and emerged as gold. That is magnetic. That is irresistible. That is the energy that makes a man stop in his tracks and think, "This woman is extraordinary." The second elimination must be your addiction to control. Oh, how this one affects so many of you. You have been disappointed so many times that you believe if you can just manage every detail, anticipate every problem, control every outcome, you will finally be safe. You monitor his phone. You plan every conversation. You try to orchestrate how he should feel about you. You cannot relax into spontaneity because spontaneity means risk, and risk means potential pain. But here is what you fail to understand. The masculine energy that you crave, that strength and leadership and decisiveness that makes you feel protected and desired, it withers and dies in the presence of a controlling woman. A man cannot be your hero if you insist on directing the script. He cannot surprise you if you have already planned every moment. He cannot lead the dance if you refuse to follow. The paradox is that your attempts to control actually create the very chaos you fear. Your surveillance creates secrecy. Your planning creates rebellion. Your management creates resentment. I have seen it 1,000 times. The woman who finally surrenders control, who learns to trust the flow of divine timing, who allows situations to unfold without her constant interference. She becomes a sanctuary of peace that men desperately want to enter. Think of water. Water does not control. Water flows. Water adapts. Water finds its path without force. And water is the most powerful force on earth, capable of wearing down mountains over time. You must become like water. You must trust that the Creator has a plan far more magnificent than your fearful mind can imagine. When you release control, you make space for miracles. When you stop gripping so tightly, you open your hands to receive what you could never have manufactured on your own. Are you still with me? Have you recognized yourself in these patterns? Good. Because we are just beginning to excavate the obstacles between you and the love you deserve. The third toxic element you must eliminate is your comparison consciousness. Every time you measure yourself against another woman, every time you scroll through social media and feel that knife of envy twist in your gut, every time you look at a younger woman and feel inferior, or look at another woman your age, who seems to have it all together and feel inadequate, you are literally draining your own life force. In Kabbalistic teaching, we understand that every soul has a completely unique mission and path. Your journey is not her journey. Your timeline is not her timeline. Your lessons are not her lessons. When you compare yourself to others, you are essentially telling the Creator that you reject the specific circumstances and challenges He has given you for your growth. You are saying that His plan for you is inferior to His plan for someone else. This is not just ungrateful. It is spiritually destructive. Comparison makes you bitter. It makes you small. It makes you unable to celebrate others' joy, which closes your own channels to receiving joy. I want you to understand something profound. The woman you envy, she has struggles you know nothing about. The couple that looks perfect on social media, they fight in private. The woman who seems to have found love so easily, she carries wounds you cannot see. Everyone is fighting battles you cannot imagine. When you stop comparing and start focusing on becoming the most authentic, evolved version of yourself, something magical happens. You develop a signature energy that is entirely your own. You stop trying to be what you think men want and start expressing what you actually are. And paradoxically, that is when you become most attractive. Because authenticity is the rarest and most precious quality in a world of women trying to imitate each other. The fourth thing you must eliminate is your toxic relationship with time. You look at your age and you panic. You count the years and you despair. You think you are running out of time to find love, to be desired, to start over. This fear of time makes you desperate, and desperation is the least attractive quality a woman can possess. Let me tell you something that will challenge everything you have been conditioned to believe. You are not aging out of desirability. You are growing into your power. The years you see as losses are actually gains in wisdom, depth, emotional intelligence, and sexual confidence. A woman in her 50s who knows herself, who has healed her wounds, who radiates peace and purpose. She is infinitely more attractive than a 25-year-old with physical beauty, but no substance. Men of quality, men of depth, men who have also lived and learned, they are not looking for a young girl to control. They are looking for a woman to partner with. They want someone who can match them intellectually, challenge them emotionally, meet them spiritually. The problem is not your age. The problem is your anxiety about your age. When you stop apologizing for your years and start celebrating the woman those years have forged. When you stop hiding your age and start embodying the power of your experience, you become ageless. You transcend the superficial categories that society tries to imprison you in. In Kabbalah, we teach that time is an illusion of the physical world. Your soul is eternal. Your essence is timeless. Connect with that eternal aspect of yourself, and your physical age becomes irrelevant. I have seen women in their 70s who radiate more sensuality and magnetism than women half their age, because they have made peace with time. They have stopped fighting reality and started dancing with it. The fifth elimination is your narrative of lack. Listen to the way you talk about your life. Listen to the stories you tell. There are no good men available. All the good ones are taken. Men my age only want younger women. It is too late for me. I have too much baggage. No one will want me now. Every time you speak these sentences, you are not describing reality. You are creating it. Words have creative power. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word created worlds. Your words create your world. When you constantly tell the story of lack, you instruct the universe to bring you more lack. When you focus on what is missing, you magnetize more absence into your life. This is not metaphor. This is the fundamental law of manifestation that I have studied and taught for my entire life. The universe is a mirror. It reflects back to you exactly what you project. If you project scarcity, you receive scarcity. If you project abundance, you receive abundance. You must begin immediately to change your narrative. Instead of saying there are no good men, say there are wonderful men everywhere, and I am becoming the woman who naturally attracts them. Instead of saying it is too late, say I am exactly where I need to be, and love is finding me at the perfect time. Instead of focusing on your baggage, focus on your treasures, the wisdom you have gained, the compassion you have developed, the strength you have built. You must become relentless about monitoring your thoughts and words. Catch yourself every time you slip into lack consciousness. Stop yourself mid-sentence and reframe. This is not fake positivity. This is aligning yourself with truth. The truth is that abundance is the natural state of the universe. Trees do not worry about producing enough leaves. Flowers do not question whether they will bloom. The ocean does not fear running out of waves. Nature operates from overflow, from generosity, from more than enough. You are part of nature. You are part of this abundant universe. Start acting like it. Now I must ask you something. Are you feeling uncomfortable yet? Are these truths hitting too close to home? Good. Discomfort means you are breaking through the comfortable lies you have been living with. Discomfort means transformation is beginning. The sixth thing you must eliminate, and this will be painful to hear, is your resentment toward men. Perhaps you do not think you carry this. Perhaps you believe you love men. But I want you to examine yourself honestly. When you hear about a man behaving badly, do you secretly feel validated? When your friend complains about her husband, do you join in enthusiastically? When you see a happy couple, do you wonder when he will disappoint her? Do you make jokes about men being stupid or incompetent or emotionally unavailable? Do you hold in your heart an unspoken belief that men cannot be trusted, that they will always let you down, that they are fundamentally selfish creatures. This poison is so normalized in our culture, especially among women who have been hurt, that you may not even recognize you are carrying it. But men sense it. They feel it in your energy before you even speak. And it creates an impenetrable barrier between you and genuine connection. Here is what you must understand. Yes, some men have hurt you. Yes, some men are immature or selfish or damaged. But generalizing your pain onto all men is no different than any other form of bigotry. It is prejudice, and it will keep you alone. You cannot attract what you resent. You cannot draw in what you despise. If you carry even subtle hostility toward masculine energy, you will repel masculine energy. I am not asking you to be naive. I am not asking you to trust blindly. I am asking you to heal your relationship with the masculine so that you can recognize and attract the good men who do exist, who are also looking for love, who are also tired of game playing and ready for something real. Start noticing and appreciating the small kindnesses of men. The man who holds the door. The man who helps you with your groceries. The man who smiles at you with respect. Train your awareness to see masculine goodness, and you will start to magnetize more of it into your life. In Kabbalah, we teach that masculine and feminine energies must be in balance and harmony to create life. When you heal your feminine energy's relationship with the masculine, you restore the cosmic balance within yourself, and that balance is deeply attractive. The seventh elimination is your attachment to suffering. This is perhaps the most challenging pattern to identify because it has become so deeply embedded in your identity. You have suffered. You have survived. And somewhere along the way, your suffering became your story, your badge, your way of explaining yourself to the world. You connect with other women through shared complaints. You find meaning in your struggles. You have built your entire self-concept around being the woman who endures, who sacrifices, who carries burdens. But suffering is not noble. Martyrdom is not attractive. Chronic pain is not a personality. What men find magnetic is joy. What draws people to you is light. What creates desire is vitality. If you walk through life as a woman whose primary emotional state is pain, you will only attract people who want to either fix you, which never works, or who are also stuck in suffering and want company there. Neither of these creates the passionate, respectful, mutual love you are seeking. You must give yourself permission to be happy. You must allow yourself to enjoy life, even though you have been hurt. You must let go of the unconscious belief that suffering makes you good or deep or worthy. Some of you have been in pain for so long that you do not even know who you would be without it. The thought of releasing your suffering is terrifying because it has become your identity. But I promise you this. On the other side of that suffering is a version of you so radiant, so free, so powerful that you cannot even imagine her from where you currently stand. That woman is waiting for you. She is calling to you. She is the woman you were always meant to become. And she emerges only when you stop clinging to the suffering that has defined you. The eighth toxic element you must eliminate is your need for external validation. You check your phone constantly to see if he texted. You analyze every word, every emoji, looking for proof that you matter. You dress for approval. You speak for approval. You move through the world in a constant state of seeking confirmation from others that you are valuable, attractive, worthy of love. This is exhausting. It makes you anxious and insecure. And it gives away all your power. When you need someone else to tell you that you are enough, you will never feel enough, because external validation is temporary. It provides a brief high followed by withdrawal and the desperate need for another fix. You become an addict, and men can smell this neediness like predators smell fear. The women who are truly magnetic, they have found their validation within. They have connected with their divine essence. They know with unshakable certainty that they are precious beyond measure, not because of what anyone says or does, but because they are expressions of the Creator's infinite love. When you root your worthiness in that spiritual truth, you stop begging for crumbs of attention. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop tolerating disrespect because you no longer need anyone to confirm your value. This inner security is the most attractive quality you can possess. It communicates to everyone around you that you know something they do not know, that you have access to a source of power and peace that circumstances cannot touch. Men are drawn to this like moths to a flame, because in a world of insecure women constantly seeking reassurance, a woman who knows her own worth is a rare and precious jewel. Are you beginning to see the pattern? Are you starting to understand that everything I'm telling you is not about changing yourself to please men, but about removing the layers of conditioning and pain that have buried your true self? When you eliminate these toxic patterns, you do not become someone different. You become more authentically yourself, and your authentic self is magnificent. The ninth thing you must eliminate is your resistance to receiving. This surprises many women, but I see it constantly. You are wonderful at giving. You overgive, actually. You take care of everyone. You solve everyone's problems. You sacrifice your needs for others. But when someone tries to give to you, when someone offers help or compliments or love, you deflect it. You minimize it. You immediately start thinking about how you need to reciprocate so you do not owe anyone anything. You cannot simply receive with grace and gratitude. Do you understand how this blocks your blessings? Do you see how this tells the universe that you are not worthy of receiving? In the Kabbalistic understanding of energy flow, giving and receiving must be balanced. If you only give, you create blockage. You become like a clogged pipe, unable to allow the natural flow of abundance through your life. Men want to give to a woman. It is part of how masculine energy experiences love, through providing, protecting, offering, giving. When you refuse to receive, when you insist on being completely self-sufficient and independent, you deny men one of their primary ways of feeling needed and valued. You must learn to receive compliments without deflecting, to receive help without feeling weak, to receive gifts without calculating their cost, to receive love without immediately wondering what the catch is. Practice saying simply, "Thank you," instead of explaining why you do not deserve the kindness. Let people give to you. Open your hands and your heart, and let the abundance that is trying to reach you actually land. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. This is working with the natural laws of the universe instead of against them. The 10th and final elimination, the one that ties all the others together, is your disconnection from your feminine essence. You have been hurt, so you built walls. You needed to survive, so you became hard. You had to take care of yourself, so you developed your masculine energy, the planning, the doing, the achieving, the protecting. These qualities served you. They kept you safe. But they also closed the door to romantic love, because romantic love requires softness, receptivity, vulnerability, flow, all qualities of the feminine. You do not need to give up your strength. You do not need to become weak or submissive or anything that goes against your nature. but you must relearn how to access your feminine power. The feminine is not weak. The feminine created life itself. The feminine is the ocean, the moon, the earth, powerful beyond measure, but powerful in a completely different way than the masculine. When you are always in your masculine energy, doing and controlling and managing, you repel masculine men because there is no polarity, no magnetic pull. Like charges repel, opposite charges attract. If you want to attract masculine energy, you must cultivate your feminine energy. This means learning to be present rather than always planning the future. This means allowing emotions to flow through you rather than suppressing them. This means adorning yourself not to attract men, but because beauty is a form of prayer, a celebration of the divine feminine. This means moving your body with grace, speaking with melody, creating spaces of beauty around you. This means surrendering to the natural cycles of energy in your life, rather than trying to be productive every moment. This means trusting your intuition, that direct line to divine wisdom that women have, but often ignore in favor of logic. When you reclaim your feminine essence, you do not lose your strength. You gain access to a completely different kind of power, the power that enchants, that inspires, that heals, that creates life and love and magic in the world. Now you know the 10 things you must eliminate: victimhood, control, comparison, toxic relationship with time, narratives of lack, resentment toward men, attachment to suffering, need for external validation, resistance to receiving, disconnection from feminine essence. These are the 10 anchors dragging you down. These are the 10 poisons in your system. These are the 10 obstacles between you and everything you desire. But knowing is not enough. Understanding is not transformation. You must act. You must begin today, this very moment, to identify which of these patterns you carry and to actively work on eliminating them. Let me give you the practical pathway to liberation, the concrete steps you must take to move from where you are to where you want to be. First, you must commit to radical self-honesty. Get a journal and write down which of these 10 patterns you recognize in yourself. Do not judge yourself. Do not shame yourself. Simply observe with compassion. You cannot heal what you will not acknowledge. Spend time reflecting on where these patterns came from. What happened in your life that taught you to be a victim or to control or to resent men? Understanding the origin of your patterns gives you power over them. They are not who you are. They are defensive adaptations you developed to survive difficult circumstances. You can thank them for protecting you when you needed protection. And then you can release them because you no longer need them. Second, you must establish a daily spiritual practice. I am not talking about formal religion, although if that resonates with you, embrace it. I am talking about a daily practice that connects you with something larger than yourself, that reminds you of your divine nature, that fills your well, so you stop seeking fulfillment from external sources. This could be meditation, prayer, time in nature, reading sacred texts, whatever creates that connection for you. The Zohar teaches that when you pray, you are not begging some distant God for favors. You are aligning your consciousness with divine consciousness. You are tuning your frequency to the frequency of abundance and love. Make this non-negotiable. Just as you brush your teeth every day to maintain physical health, you must maintain your spiritual connection to preserve your emotional and energetic health. Third, you must curate your environment ruthlessly. Look at the people around you. Are they supporting your transformation or holding you back? Are your friends constantly complaining about men and reinforcing victimhood? Or are they positive, growth-oriented women who inspire you? You cannot transform while surrounded by toxicity. You must be willing to create distance from relationships that drain you, even if these relationships have been part of your life for years. Look at what you consume, what you watch, what you read, what you listen to, what you scroll through on social media. Is it feeding your soul or poisoning it? Eliminate sources of negativity and comparison. Follow accounts that inspire you, that show you what is possible, that celebrate women at all stages of life. Create a physical environment that reflects beauty and peace. Your external environment affects your internal state more than you realize. Fourth, you must develop a pleasure practice. This sounds indulgent, but it is essential. You must relearn how to experience pleasure without guilt, how to prioritize your joy, how to do things simply because they feel good. Take long baths. Wear beautiful lingerie under your clothes, even when no one will see it. Eat foods that delight you without punishing yourself. Dance in your living room. Get massages. Buy yourself flowers. These are not frivolous activities. They are training your nervous system to expect good things, to believe you deserve pleasure, to open the channels through which love will eventually flow to you. Women who deny themselves pleasure become rigid and bitter. Women who embrace pleasure become soft and radiant. Which do you want to be? Fifth, you must practice conscious communication. Start paying attention to how you speak about yourself and your life. Catch yourself when you slip into victim language or lack language or man-bashing. Stop yourself mid-sentence and reframe. This will feel artificial at first. Do it anyway. Your brain is literally creating new neural pathways. You are reprogramming decades of conditioning. It requires conscious effort. Tell your friends that you are working on speaking more positively, and ask them to gently point it out when you fall into old patterns. Surround yourself with language of possibility, of abundance, of worthiness. Sixth, you must engage in forgiveness work. This is not optional. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You must forgive your ex-husband, not because he deserves it, but because you deserve peace. You must forgive yourself for the choices you regret, for the time you feel you wasted, for not knowing then what you know now. Forgiveness does not mean you condone what happened. It means you release the energetic cord that ties you to the past so you can be fully present for your future. There are many ways to do forgiveness work: therapy, specific forgiveness meditations, letter writing that you never send, ritual burning of symbolic objects. Find a method that resonates with you and commit to it. The women who cannot move forward are always the women still shackled to resentment about the past. Seventh, you must invest in your physical vitality. I am not talking about losing weight to attract men. I am talking about honoring your body as the sacred temple that houses your soul. Move your body in ways that feel good. Nourish yourself with foods that energize you. Get proper sleep. Address health issues you have been ignoring. Your body is the vehicle through which you experience life and love. When you feel physically vital and strong, you project a completely different energy than when you feel tired and depleted. This is not vanity. This is stewardship of the precious life you have been given. Eighth, you must cultivate your creativity and purpose. What lights you up? What would you do even if no one ever saw it or paid you for it? What contribution do you want to make to the world? When you are engaged in purposeful creative activity, you become magnetic. You have your own life force, your own reason for being, your own joy that is completely independent of relationship status. Men are attracted to women who have their own lives, who are not sitting around waiting to be completed by a relationship. Moreover, when you are living on purpose, you attract people who resonate with that purpose. You attract soul-level connections rather than superficial attractions. Ninth, you must be willing to take risks and be uncomfortable. Transformation requires that you do things differently than you have done them before. This means you will have to push past fear. You will have to try new things. You will have to go to places alone. You will have to initiate conversations. You will have to be willing to be rejected. You will have to tolerate uncertainty. Your comfort zone is a prison. Everything you want is outside of it. Make a commitment to do one thing every week that scares you a little bit. This builds courage, and courage is essential for the life you are trying to create. 10th, you must learn to trust divine timing. This is perhaps the hardest because you feel so urgent, so scared that time is running out. But the universe has a timing that your limited human perspective cannot understand. Everything you have experienced, every heartbreak and disappointment and year of waiting, has been preparing you for something better than you could have imagined. The love that is meant for you is finding you right now. The man who is meant to love you is being prepared right now, just as you are being prepared for him. Your only job is to become the most healed, whole, authentic version of yourself, so that when he arrives, you recognize him and you are ready. Stop trying to force timing. Stop trying to make something happen before it is time. Surrender to the process. Trust the journey. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. Let me tell you what happens when you do this work. I have seen it countless times. A woman comes to me, broken, convinced her life is over, certain she will never love or be loved again. She does this work. She eliminates these 10 toxic patterns. She commits to her transformation. And within months, sometimes weeks, everything changes. Not because some magical prince suddenly appears, although that often does happen, but because she changes. Her energy shifts. Her face looks different. Her body moves differently. She laughs more easily. She speaks with confidence. She radiates something that did not exist before, a quality of being at home in herself, of being connected to something greater than herself, of knowing who she is and what she deserves. And men notice. They cannot help but notice. They are drawn to her like they have discovered oxygen after holding their breath for years. But even more importantly, she notices herself. She likes herself. She enjoys her own company. She has created a life she loves, with or without a partner. And from that place of wholeness, if a man enters her life, he is an addition, an enhancement, a bonus, but not a necessity. She is already complete. This is the secret that women who are beloved understand. You do not find love by seeking it desperately. You attract love by becoming someone who loves herself so completely that love cannot help but find her. I want you to imagine something with me now. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. You have done this work. You have eliminated these patterns. You have transformed. See yourself walking down the street. Notice your posture. Notice the light in your eyes. Notice how people respond to you. See yourself at a dinner party, confident and radiant, telling a story that has everyone leaning in to listen. See yourself waking up next to someone who adores you, who cannot believe his good fortune that you chose him. See yourself laughing, truly laughing, from a place of pure joy. See yourself looking in the mirror and loving what you see, not because your appearance has changed dramatically, but because you finally see yourself through eyes of compassion instead of criticism. This is not fantasy. This is your future if you commit to this path. This is what awaits you on the other side of this work. Now imagine the alternative. Imagine yourself 1 year from now if you change nothing. You are still carrying these same patterns. You are still trapped in the same loops. Your ex-husband has moved on. He is with someone new. He is happy. And you are exactly where you are right now, except with 1 more year of regret, 1 more year of missed opportunities, 1 more year closer to giving up completely. Which future do you want? The choice is entirely yours. No one can make this choice for you. No one can do this work for you. I can give you the map, but you must walk the path. Let me share something I have never spoken about publicly before. When I was younger, many years ago, I went through my own dark night of the soul. I felt abandoned by the divine. I felt that all my spiritual practice and knowledge meant nothing because I was suffering and could not find my way out. I was trapped in patterns of fear and control. I tried to orchestrate every outcome. I carried resentment toward those who had hurt me. I defined myself by my suffering. Does this sound familiar? I was teaching others about divine truth while not living it myself. The pain of that hypocrisy almost destroyed me. But then something happened. In my deepest moment of despair, when I finally surrendered, when I finally admitted that I could not control anything and I released it all to the Creator, everything changed. Not externally at first, but internally. I felt peace for the first time in years. I felt connected to my purpose. And from that place of surrender, my entire life reorganized itself in ways I could never have planned. The teaching became authentic because I had lived the transformation I was teaching. This is why I speak to you with such certainty. Not because I'm better than you, but because I have walked through the fire just as you have. I know what it is to carry these patterns, and I know what it is to be free of them. I know the joy that waits on the other side. You must understand something crucial about the nature of masculine desire. Men do not primarily desire physical perfection. If they did, no ordinary woman would ever be loved. Men desire essence. They desire that indescribable quality of femininity that has nothing to do with age or weight or conventional beauty. They desire the woman who is comfortable in her own skin, the woman who laughs easily, the woman who moves with grace, the woman who speaks with authenticity, the woman who is genuinely interested in him rather than constantly performing to be interesting, the woman who has her own life but makes space for him in it, the woman who challenges him to be better while accepting him as he is, the woman who brings peace to his life rather than drama. Every one of these qualities becomes more possible, not less possible, as you age and mature. But only if you do the inner work. Only if you eliminate the patterns that block your authentic feminine essence from shining through. Let me tell you about the layers of attraction. Physical attraction is the surface layer. It draws initial attention, but it is the weakest form of attraction and it fades quickly. Emotional attraction is deeper. This is what happens when someone makes you feel good, when you enjoy their presence, when they bring joy to your life. But even emotional attraction can fade if there is no substance beneath it. The deepest level is soul attraction, spiritual attraction, the recognition of something eternal and true in another person. This is what creates lasting love. This is what makes a man unable to imagine his life without you. And this level of attraction has absolutely nothing to do with youth or physical perfection. It has everything to do with who you are as a soul, how you show up in the world, what you radiate. When you do the work I am describing, you become attractive at this soul level. You become someone who touches people deeply. You become unforgettable. I need to address something that some of you are thinking right now. You are thinking that this sounds like a lot of work, that you are tired, that you have already done so much healing, that it is not fair that you have to work so hard to be loved. I hear you. And I am going to tell you something that will either liberate you or make you angry. No one owes you love. The universe does not owe you a partner because you are a good person or because you have suffered or because you want one desperately. Love is not a reward for good behavior. Love is a natural result of being someone who is loving, who is healed, who is whole. If you approach this work with resentment, with the attitude of, I shouldn't have to do this, you are still in victim consciousness and the work will not be effective. But if you approach this work with gratitude, seeing it as an opportunity to become the most magnificent version of yourself, seeing it as a gift that you are giving to yourself rather than something you are doing to attract a man, everything shifts. You do this work for you, because you deserve to be free of pain, because you deserve to live with joy, because you deserve to express your full potential. The fact that this work also makes you magnetic to the right kind of man is a wonderful side effect. But it cannot be the primary motivation, or you will give up the moment it gets difficult. There is a teaching in Kabbalah about the concept of tzimtzum, divine contraction. Before creation could occur, the infinite light of the Creator had to contract, had to create space, had to make room for something other than itself to exist. This is what you must do. You must create space in your life for love to enter. Right now, your life is so full of old patterns, old resentments, old fears, old stories, that there is no room for anything new. When you eliminate these 10 toxic patterns, you are creating space. You are making room. You are preparing the vessel to receive what you have been asking for. The universe will not pour new wine into an old wineskin. You must become new to receive something new. Let me give you one more practical tool. I want you to create what I call a becoming journal. This is different from a regular journal. In this journal, you do not write about your problems or your pain. You write as if you are already the woman you are becoming. You write from the future. I am so grateful for the peace I feel in my life now. I am so blessed by the loving relationship I am in. I am amazed at how I handled that difficult situation with grace and wisdom today. You are literally scripting your future. You are training your subconscious mind to believe that this reality is not only possible, but inevitable. You are aligning your energy with the frequency of what you desire. Do this every morning for at least 15 minutes. Write as if it has already happened. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were already true. This is not delusion. This is how manifestation works. You must become energetically congruent with what you want before it can show up in your physical reality. I also want to give you a practice for healing your relationship with the masculine. For the next 30 days, I want you to notice and appreciate every single interaction you have with a man, no matter how small. The man who bags your groceries, the man who holds the elevator, the man who smiles at you on your walk. Acknowledge these small kindnesses. Say thank you with genuine warmth. See these men as souls, not as potential threats or disappointments. What you appreciate appreciates. What you acknowledge grows. As you begin to notice and appreciate masculine energy in its benign, helpful forms, you retrain your nervous system to relax around men rather than brace for betrayal. This simple practice will shift your energy more than you can imagine. Here's something else you need to hear. There will be setbacks. You will have days where you fall back into old patterns. You will have moments of fear and doubt. You will question whether any of this is working. This is normal. This is part of the process. Transformation is not linear. You do not go from broken to healed in a straight line. You spiral upward, revisiting the same lessons at deeper levels each time around. When you have a setback, do not interpret it as failure. Do not use it as evidence that you are hopeless or that this work does not work. Simply notice that you slipped into an old pattern, have compassion for yourself, and choose again. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose differently. You do not have to wait until tomorrow or Monday or next month to start over. You can begin again right now. I want to talk about sexuality for a moment, because this is part of what you are seeking when you want to be desired. Sexual desire is not shallow. It is not wrong to want to be wanted in that way. Sexual energy is life force energy. It is creative power. It is the energy that brought you into this world. But sexuality becomes distorted when it is disconnected from your feminine essence, when it is used as a tool to manipulate or prove your worthiness, when it comes from desperation rather than fullness. A sexually empowered woman is not someone who performs sexuality. She's someone who embodies it naturally because she is connected to the creative life force that flows through her. She moves from her hips. She makes sound when she eats something delicious. She allows herself to feel pleasure without shame. She touches herself and her surroundings with sensual awareness. This is not something you do. This is something you become. And when you become this, you do not have to try to be sexy. You simply are. Men feel it. They respond to it. But more importantly, you enjoy being in your own body, which is a gift regardless of relationship status. As we move deeper into this conversation, I want you to understand the spiritual mechanics of attraction. In the physical world, you see with your eyes, and you believe that attraction is about appearance. But in the energetic world, which is the real world underlying the physical, attraction is about frequency. Everything vibrates at a specific frequency. Fear vibrates at a low frequency. Love vibrates at a high frequency. When you carry the 10 toxic patterns I described, you vibrate at a lower frequency. You literally emit an energetic signal that attracts people in situations that match that frequency. When you eliminate these patterns and cultivate love, peace, joy, and wholeness, you raise your frequency. You begin to emit a different signal. And the law of resonance dictates that you will attract people and situations that match your new frequency. This is not metaphor. This is physics. This is how the universe actually works. You are not trying to trick a man into loving you. You are transforming yourself at the deepest level so that you naturally magnetize the love you desire. Let me tell you what will happen when you meet a man from this transformed place. The interaction will feel completely different than what you have experienced before. There will be no games, no manipulation, no wondering what he is thinking, no anxiety about when he will call. Communication will be clear. Intentions will be evident. You will feel safe. You will feel seen. You will feel valued. And most importantly, you will feel like yourself, not like you are performing or trying to be what you think he wants. This is how you know you have attracted someone compatible. This is how you know the attraction is operating at that soul level I described. If you are still playing games, if you are still anxious and confused, if you still feel like you are auditioning for the role of girlfriend, you have not yet done enough of the inner work, or you are trying to force something with the wrong person, I want to circle back to something crucial about time. Because I know this fear is sitting in your chest like a stone. You look at women younger than you, and you think they have time that you do not have. But I am going to tell you a secret about time from the perspective of eternity. Your soul is ancient. It has lived countless lifetimes. It will live countless more. This lifetime, these years, they are a single breath in the infinite existence of your soul. From that perspective, whether you find love at 50 or 60 or 70 is completely irrelevant. Your soul does not age. Your soul does not decline. Your soul is becoming more refined, more conscious, more divine with every experience. Stop thinking like a mortal body worried about expiration dates and start thinking like an eternal soul on a journey of evolution. When you make this shift, the urgency dissolves. The fear dissipates. You realize that you have all the time in the universe. And paradoxically, when you stop being frantic about time, everything you want tends to show up much faster. Now I want to give you the secret that ties everything together. Are you ready? Here it is. You must fall in love with yourself first. Not in a narcissistic way, in a sacred way. You must look at yourself with a tenderness and adoration that you are hoping some man will look at you with. You must speak to yourself with the kindness and respect you are hoping someone else will speak to you with. You must treat yourself with the care and consideration you are hoping to receive from a partner. You must become to yourself everything you are seeking from another. This is not settling. This is not giving up on partnership. This is the prerequisite for attracting healthy partnership. No man can complete you. No relationship can fill the void of self-rejection. If you do not love yourself, any love directed at you from outside will feel false. You will not be able to receive it. You will sabotage it. You will find evidence that it is not real. But when you genuinely love and approve of yourself, when your own love is the foundation you stand on, then love from another becomes a beautiful addition rather than a desperate necessity. You negotiate from strength rather than weakness. You choose from clarity rather than fear. You create from abundance rather than lack. I'm going to tell you 3 specific practices to cultivate self-love, because I know this is easier said than done after years of self-criticism. First practice, mirror work. Every single morning, look yourself in the eyes in the mirror and say, "I love you," and say your name. It will feel ridiculous at first. You will not believe it. Say it anyway. Do this every single day until it feels true, which will take weeks or months. This simple practice rewires your relationship with yourself at the deepest level. Second practice, write yourself a love letter once a week. Write to yourself as if you are writing to someone you adore. Tell yourself what you appreciate about yourself. Acknowledge your strengths. Express gratitude for your body. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Pour onto that page all the love and acceptance you wish someone else would give you. Third practice, take yourself on dates. Once a week, do something special for yourself. Go to a nice restaurant alone and enjoy your own company. Go to a museum. Go to the ocean. Buy yourself flowers. Dress beautifully for yourself. Treat yourself the way you would want a lover to treat you. These practices will feel strange at first because you have been taught that you need someone else to validate you, to make you special, to give you permission to be treated well. You do not. You can give all of that to yourself right now. Let me address a concern some of you have. You are thinking, if I become too happy alone, if I really do not need a partner, then maybe I will never attract one. This is not how it works. Desperation repels. Wholeness attracts. When you need someone to complete you, you emanate lack, and lack is not attractive. When you are whole and happy, and you would simply like to share that wholeness with someone, You emanate abundance, and abundance is magnetic. The most attractive proposition you can offer another person is, "My life is beautiful, and I would love to share it with you," not "I am empty, and I need you to fill me." One creates a relationship of mutual enhancement. The other creates a relationship of codependence that will eventually implode under the weight of unmet expectations. We need to talk about what it means to be feminine in a way that does not betray your strength. Some of you resist embracing your feminine energy because you equate it with weakness or submission, and you have worked too hard to be strong to give that up now. I understand this. But you are operating under false definitions. Feminine energy is not weak. The ocean is feminine energy. The earth is feminine energy. The moon that controls the tides is feminine energy. These are the most powerful forces in nature. Feminine power is receptive rather than aggressive. But receptive does not mean passive. It means you draw things to you rather than chasing them. You allow rather than force. You surrender to the flow rather than fighting against it. You trust your intuition rather than only relying on logic. You express emotions rather than suppressing them. You create beauty rather than only focusing on function. You nurture rather than only achieving. You collaborate rather than only competing. These are not signs of weakness. These are sophisticated forms of power that our masculine-dominated culture has devalued. But they are essential for attraction and for happiness. You can be powerful and feminine at the same time. In fact, true power comes from being able to access both masculine and feminine qualities and knowing when each is appropriate. Here is a practical example of feminine energy in dating. Masculine energy pursues. Feminine energy responds. This does not mean you sit passively waiting for a man to appear. It means you put yourself in environments where you can be seen and approached. You make yourself available. You give signals of interest when someone appeals to you. But you let him initiate. You let him plan. You let him pursue. And your role is to respond authentically. Yes, if you are interested. No, if you are not. Many modern women have reversed these polarities. They pursue men. They plan everything. They initiate all the conversations. They work hard to make the relationship happen. And then they wonder why the man seems passive or loses interest. It is because you have taken his role. You have left him nothing to do. You have robbed him of the satisfaction of winning you. A healthy masculine man wants to pursue. It is how he shows love. When you deny him that opportunity, you eliminate the polarity that creates attraction. This does not mean you play games. It means you understand the dance, and you let him lead it while you respond gracefully. I know some of you are resistant to this. You have been taught that waiting for a man to pursue is anti-feminist, that you should be able to ask men out, that you should split checks, that you should make everything equal. Do what you want. I am not here to tell you what to do. I am here to tell you what works for creating the kind of attraction that leads to lasting love. And the truth, whether it fits your political ideology or not, is that polarity creates attraction. Similarity creates friendship. If you want a man to be your friend, by all means, operate in your masculine energy all the time. If you want a man to desire you romantically and sexually, you must understand and embrace your feminine energy. This is not about inferiority or superiority. This is about difference. Masculine and feminine are two halves of a whole. Neither is complete without the other. Neither is better than the other. But they are different. And those differences create the magnetic pull that makes romance possible. Let me give you the anatomy of desire from a man's perspective. Because if you understand this, you will never wonder again why a man does or does not desire you. Men desire women who make them feel like men. What does this mean? It means they desire women who appreciate their masculine qualities rather than criticizing them, who allow them to provide and protect rather than insisting on complete independence, who respect their opinions and decisions rather than contradicting everything they say, who admire their strength rather than competing with it, who enjoy their humor rather than rolling their eyes at it, who soften in their presence rather than maintaining rigid walls. Think about who you are around men. Do you criticize? Do you correct? Do you compete? Do you dismiss? Do you make jokes at their expense? Do you focus on their flaws? Or do you appreciate? Do you encourage? Do you admire? Do you smile? Do you laugh? Do you acknowledge what they do well? The woman who makes a man feel good about himself when he is around her, she is the woman he cannot stop thinking about, regardless of her age or her dress size. Now we must address the elephant in the room. What if you do all of this work and you still do not find a partner? What if you transform yourself and eliminate all these patterns and become this radiant, feminine, healed woman, and you still end up alone? This is the fear beneath all the other fears, is it not? Let me tell you the truth. There are no guarantees in life. I cannot promise you that if you do this work, you will meet someone. But I can promise you this. If you do this work, you will be happy. You will love your life. You will feel peace. You will be free from the patterns that have tortured you. You will express your authentic self. You will connect with your divine nature. You will create beauty and meaning and purpose. And you will do all of this whether or not you ever have a romantic partner. Is that not worth pursuing? Is your own happiness and freedom not valuable unless it includes a man? This is the final liberation. When you realize that your well-being is not dependent on external circumstances, that you can be happy and fulfilled regardless of relationship status, then you are truly free. And ironically, that freedom is so attractive that partnership usually does show up. But it shows up as a bonus rather than a requirement. I want to tell you something about prayers and manifestation. Many of you have prayed for love. Many of you have asked the universe to send you a partner, and you feel angry or confused about why your prayers have not been answered. Here is what you do not understand. Your prayers are always answered, but not always in the form you expect or in the timing you demand. Sometimes the answer is not yet, because you are not yet ready to receive what you are asking for. Sometimes the answer is no to a specific person because that person would have harmed you. Sometimes the answer is yes. But first, you must learn these lessons and eliminate these patterns. The universe is not withholding from you. The universe is protecting you and preparing you. Every experience you have had, even the painful ones, especially the painful ones, they have been part of answering your prayer. They have been teaching you, shaping you, preparing you for what is coming. Trust the process, trust the timing, trust that you are loved and guided even when it does not feel like it. Let me tell you about the power of gratitude in transformation. Right now, you are focused on what you do not have. You look at your life and you see all the absences. You catalog everything that is wrong, everything that is missing, everything that disappoints you. This focus on lack creates more lack. I want you to begin a rigorous gratitude practice. Every single day, write down 10 things you are grateful for in your life right now, and they cannot be the same things each day. This will force you to start noticing all the good that already exists in your life. At first, this will feel hard. After a few weeks, it will become easier as you train your awareness to notice blessings instead of problems. This practice has the power to completely transform your emotional state. Gratitude and depression cannot coexist. Gratitude and anxiety cannot coexist. Gratitude opens your heart. Gratitude raises your frequency. Gratitude magnetizes more things to be grateful for. Make this practice as non-negotiable as breathing. We are deep into this journey now. You have been listening for a long time. This is a good sign. It means you are serious about transformation. It means you are willing to do what it takes. Let me reinforce something. Every single thing I have told you today requires practice. You will not read this once or listen to this once and be transformed. You must practice these teachings every single day. You must remind yourself constantly. You must catch yourself when you fall back into old patterns and choose again. This is a lifetime practice, not a one-time event. But every day you practice, you get stronger. Every day you choose differently. You create new neural pathways. Every day you eliminate these toxic patterns a little more. You become more and more the woman you are meant to be. I want to give you one more crucial piece about boundaries. Boundaries are essential for healthy relationships. But many women misunderstand what boundaries are. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are not punishments. Boundaries are not ways to control other people's behavior. Boundaries are clear statements about what you will and will not accept, followed by aligned action. A boundary sounds like this. I do not accept being spoken to with disrespect. If you continue to yell at me, I will end this conversation and we can speak later when you are calm. And then you follow through. You do not make empty threats. You do not negotiate your boundaries. You do not explain and justify and defend your boundaries. You simply state them clearly and enforce them consistently. Women without boundaries end up in toxic relationships. Women with rigid walls end up alone. Women with healthy boundaries end up in healthy relationships where they feel safe and respected. Boundaries are an act of self-love. They communicate to others how you expect to be treated, and they communicate to yourself that you are worthy of respect. Let me address those of you who have been divorced. Divorce can feel like failure, like proof that you are not capable of lasting love. But what if divorce was actually a sacred gift? What if that marriage ended not because you are broken, but because you were being redirected towards something better? What if you had to experience that relationship to learn lessons your soul needed to learn? What if the pain of that ending was the catalyst that forces you into the transformation we are discussing right now? I have seen countless women who bless their divorces in hindsight, because the divorce freed them from a situation that was slowly killing their spirit, and it forced them to do the inner work that made them ready for genuine love. Stop defining yourself by a marriage that ended and start defining yourself by the woman that experience created. You are not damaged goods. You are not a failure. You are a warrior who has been through battle and emerged wiser and stronger. For those of you who have never been married, who are looking for love for the first time at this age, I want you to hear this. Your timeline is not wrong. Your path is not inferior. Some souls are meant to spend their earlier years focused on other things: career, education, caring for parents, healing childhood wounds. There is no rule that says you must find love in your 20s or 30s to be successful at life. In fact, finding love in your later years, when you know yourself better, when you have developed your identity independently, when you are clear about what you want and what you will not tolerate, this often creates more solid relationships than the ones formed in youth when people barely know themselves. Stop comparing your timeline to anyone else's. Stop feeling behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Let me talk about sexuality and sensuality again, because this is a place where many women your age shut down. They believe they are no longer sexual beings. They believe desire is for younger women. They stop wearing beautiful lingerie. They stop dancing. They stop enjoying their bodies. This is a tragedy. Sexual energy is life force. When you shut down your sexuality, you shut down your vitality. Your sexuality does not end at menopause. If anything, this is when it can become more powerful, because it is freed from reproductive concerns and social expectations. You can explore your pleasure without fear of pregnancy. You can discover what truly brings you joy without performing for anyone. This is the time to befriend your body in a new way, to appreciate what it can feel, to honor it as the sacred vessel of your soul. Take dance classes. Practice self-pleasure without shame. Wear clothes that make you feel sensual even if no one sees them. Read erotic literature that awakens your desire. Your sexuality is yours. It is not dependent on having a partner. When you cultivate it for yourself, you become magnetic. You emanate life force. And life force is the most attractive quality in the universe. I need to talk about the victim identity one more time, because this is the most pervasive and destructive pattern I see. You have suffered. I know this. Your suffering is real. Your pain is valid. But at some point, you must make a choice. Do you want to be right about how you were wronged? Or do you want to be happy? Because you cannot have both. Holding onto your victim story might give you sympathy from others. It might explain why your life has not worked out the way you wanted. It might justify your bitterness and fear. But it will also keep you trapped forever. It will prevent transformation. It will block love. It will ensure that you attract only other victims or people who want to victimize you further. The moment you decide that you are no longer a victim, that what happened to you does not define you, that you are a powerful creator who can choose differently from this moment forward, everything changes. This is not about pretending the past did not happen. This is about refusing to let the past determine your future. Every great transformation story involves someone who was victimized saying, "Enough. I am taking my power back. I am writing a new story." Become that person. Make today the day you stop being a victim and start being a hero. Let me give you a teaching about the nature of masculine wounds. Because understanding this will help you have compassion for men instead of resentment. Men are wounded too. They have been taught to suppress their emotions, to always be strong, to never show vulnerability, to measure their worth by their achievements and their ability to provide. They carry shame about their desires, fear about their adequacy, confusion about what women want from them. They have been hurt by women just as you have been hurt by men. When you approach men with this understanding, with compassion for their wounds instead of blame for their mistakes, something shifts. You stop seeing them as the enemy. You stop relating from defensiveness. You create space for genuine connection. This does not mean you excuse bad behavior. This does not mean you tolerate disrespect. But it means you approach each man as an individual soul, rather than as a representative of all the men who have hurt you. You give him a chance to show you who he actually is, rather than projecting past experiences onto him. This openness, this willingness to see clearly, this is part of what makes you attractive. I want to share a meditation practice with you. Every night before you sleep, I want you to visualize your ideal relationship in as much sensory detail as possible. Do not focus on what he looks like, because that keeps you superficial. Focus on how you feel with him, Feel the safety, feel the passion, feel the respect, feel the laughter, feel the peace. See yourself doing everyday activities with him, making dinner together, walking on the beach, having deep conversations late at night. Feel the love flowing between you. Feel yourself being adored and valued and cherished. Feel yourself adoring and valuing and cherishing him in return. Do this every night for at least 10 minutes. You are programming your subconscious. You are aligning your energy. You are sending a clear signal to the universe about what you are calling in. This is not wishing or hoping. This is conscious creation. Let me address something practical. Where do you meet men at this stage of life? You do not meet them sitting at home. You do not meet them living the same routine you have lived for years. You must become strategic. You must put yourself in environments where there are men and where you can be seen. Take classes in subjects that interest men. Wine tasting, photography, woodworking, sailing. Join hiking groups. Volunteer for causes you care about. Attend lectures and workshops. Go to museums, bookstores, coffee shops, farmers markets. Travel, even if you travel alone, because you meet people when you travel. Get involved in your spiritual community. Do things you love, and do them in public spaces where you can interact with others. The woman who lives a rich, engaged life full of interests and activities naturally crosses paths with potential partners. The woman who isolates herself in fear never creates opportunities for connection. Get out of your house. Be visible. Be approachable. Smile at strangers. Make eye contact. Be friendly. You do not have to be aggressive. You just have to be available and present. I also want to talk about online dating because many women your age resist it. They feel it is undignified or dangerous or beneath them. But online dating is simply a tool, and like any tool, it can be used well or poorly. If you choose to use dating apps, be strategic. Choose your photos carefully. Show yourself smiling, engaged in activities you love, in good lighting. Write a profile that reflects your authentic personality, not what you think men want to hear. Be clear about what you are looking for. Do not waste time with men who give you bad feelings or show red flags. Trust your intuition. Meet in public places. Take your time before trusting someone. But do not dismiss this avenue entirely out of pride or fear. Many meaningful relationships begin online now. It is simply how people meet in the modern world. Embrace the tools available to you while maintaining your wisdom and boundaries. Now I want to talk about the concept of surrender in a deeper way. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is not becoming passive. Surrender is actively releasing your grip on outcomes and trusting that the universe has a better plan than your limited human mind can conceive. You have tried controlling everything. You have tried planning and strategizing and forcing. How has that worked for you? Surrender is the most advanced spiritual practice because it requires you to trust completely, even when you cannot see the path forward. It requires you to release your timeline, your specific requirements, your detailed vision of how things should unfold, and instead say to the Creator, I trust you. I release my attachment to how this looks. I open myself to receive what is in my highest good, even if it looks different than what I imagined. This level of surrender creates miracles. It makes space for possibilities you never considered. It allows the universe to work its magic without you interfering. But it requires tremendous courage and faith. Let me tell you about the relationship between self-worth and the quality of partners you attract. If your self-worth is low, you will attract people who treat you in alignment with that low worth. You will attract men who take you for granted, who disrespect you, who do not value you. And you will stay in relationships with these men because they confirm what you already believe about yourself. This is why working on self-worth is not optional. This is why self-love is not selfish. When you truly value yourself, when you know your worth at the core of your being, you automatically eliminate people from your field who would treat you poorly. They cannot get close to you because your energy repels them. You only attract and accept treatment that matches your sense of worth. If you want better relationships, become a woman who knows she deserves them. If you want to be cherished, become a woman who cherishes herself. If you want loyalty and respect, become a woman who gives loyalty and respect to herself first. I am going to tell you something that might surprise you. Your task is not to become perfect. Your task is not to eliminate all your flaws and weaknesses. Your task is to become authentic. Men are not attracted to perfection. Perfection is intimidating and boring. Men are attracted to authenticity, to a woman who knows her strengths and owns her weaknesses, to a woman who can laugh at herself, to a woman who is genuinely herself rather than carefully curating a false image. Your quirks and imperfections, when owned with confidence, become endearing. Your vulnerabilities, when shared selectively with someone who has earned your trust, create intimacy. Stop trying to be flawless. Start trying to be real. This is so much more powerful and attractive than the polished, perfect facade you think you need to maintain. Let me address the women who are carrying guilt. Guilt about the past. Guilt about mistakes you made. Guilt about people you hurt. Guilt about opportunities you missed. Guilt is useful only if it motivates change. If you did something wrong, make amends if possible, learn the lesson, and move forward differently. But chronic guilt that just sits in your system poisoning everything, this serves no purpose. It does not help the people you hurt. It does not change the past. It only diminishes your present and future. Forgive yourself. You did the best you could with the consciousness you had at the time. You were operating from wounds and fears and limitations that you have now transcended. The you of today would make different choices. That is evidence of growth, not reason for eternal self-punishment. Release the guilt. It is a weight you no longer need to carry. We need to talk about your physical body and aging, because I know this is a source of pain for many of you. Your body is changing. Things are softer, heavier, lower than they used to be. You look in the mirror and you see your mother or your grandmother looking back at you. This is hard in a culture that worships youth. But I need you to understand something. Your body is a miracle. It has carried you through decades of life. It has survived illnesses and injuries. It has perhaps created life. It has experienced pleasure and pain. It has been the vehicle for every experience you have ever had. And it is still here, still functioning, still allowing you to experience this precious human existence. Instead of criticizing your body for not looking like it did 20 years ago, thank it. Appreciate it. Care for it. Adorn it. Move it. Nourish it. Celebrate what it can still do. When you shift from criticism to gratitude, your entire energy changes. You start carrying yourself differently. You start inhabiting your body with pride instead of shame. And that shift in how you relate to your own body changes how others perceive you. A woman who loves her body is attractive, regardless of what that body looks like. Let me give you one final teaching about the nature of love itself. You have been seeking romantic love as if it will solve all your problems, as if it will finally make you complete, as if it will give your life meaning. But romantic love is not the highest form of love. It is not even the most important form of love. The highest form of love is the love you have for the divine, for the Creator, for the infinite intelligence that animates all of life. The most important form of love is the love you have for yourself. Romantic love, when it comes, should be an expression and extension of these higher forms of love, not a replacement for them. When you love yourself and you love God, romantic love becomes a beautiful dance between two whole people, rather than a desperate clinging between two incomplete people. Stop making romantic love your God. Stop giving it so much power over your happiness. Recognize it as one form of love among many, a beautiful possibility, but not a necessity. This perspective will free you. And paradoxically, this freedom is what finally makes real love possible. You have been with me for a long time now. You have listened. You have perhaps recognized yourself in these patterns. You have perhaps felt uncomfortable as I spoke truth that you have been avoiding. This is good. This means something is shifting. You are not the same person who started listening to me. Seeds have been planted. Awareness has been activated. Now comes the most important part. Action. Knowledge without action is useless. Understanding without implementation changes nothing. You must commit right now to beginning this work. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to do everything at once. But you must start. Choose one pattern to work on first. Choose one practice to implement today. Make one different choice than the choice you would have made yesterday. And then tomorrow, make another different choice. And then, the next day, another. This is how transformation happens. Not in one dramatic moment, but in 1,000 small choices to do things differently. I am Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and I have given you the map to transformation. I have shown you the 10 anchors you must release. I have given you practical tools and spiritual wisdom. I have told you the truth, even when it was uncomfortable. Because I love you too much to let you stay trapped in patterns that destroy you. The rest is up to you. You can listen to these words and do nothing, in which case, nothing will change, and a year from now, you will be exactly where you are now, except more hopeless. Or you can take these teachings seriously. You can commit to the work. You can begin eliminating these toxic patterns. You can start cultivating self-love and feminine energy and spiritual connection. You can choose to become the woman who does not chase love, but magnetizes it. Who does not beg for respect, but commands it naturally. Who does not hope to be seen, but cannot possibly be ignored. The choice is yours. Your future is in your hands. Everything you have been through, every heartbreak and disappointment and year of loneliness, it has all been preparation. For this moment, for this transformation, for the magnificent life that awaits you on the other side of this work. Do not waste your suffering. Let it have meaning. Let it be the catalyst that finally woke you up and forced you to claim your power. You are not too old. You are not too damaged. You are not too anything except too asleep to your own magnificence. Wake up. Rise up. Become the woman you were always meant to be. The woman who is loved because she first loved herself. The woman who is desired because she first desired her own life. The woman who is cherished because she first treasured her own soul. That woman is calling to you. Answer her call. Begin today. Begin now. Your transformation starts in this moment. And I promise you, everything you have been seeking is on the other side of the courage it takes to truly change. Go now with my blessing. Go with the knowledge that you are held by divine love, guided by infinite wisdom, and capable of creating miracles in your life. Go and eliminate what no longer serves you. Go and become who you really are. The universe is waiting to celebrate your emergence, and so am I.